Uh, I'm thinking they've been spraying us, man, with bug chemicals to stop the Zika. Cause personally, I know someone supposedly who has contracted the Zika. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I mean, Zika could be like something totally different, man. That's like they let it out in little pockets real quick in preparation for what mass vaccination through spraying the sky. But on a predictive programming tip, on X-Files, it had the specific episode where it was like they were gonna use bug pheromones. Okay, like there's a time when the bugs are like in super mating season, but there's another time where this chemical is not activated in the super defensive, like the bugs literally will eat each other during the time when they got this other pheromone, but they only meet up when the other one's active. So in a way that they were using this spray that they were spraying for the apples to keep, or the farms, but it had this bug spray in it that when it got into the water system, I think it said, and people were fucking freaking out and basically going on rampage, helter skelter type I don't know, man, like straight up chaos, order web KO type. It was another different kind of scenario. I mean, you see this theme repeated in the Batman, where they put the hallucinogenic chemical in the water supply. You know, we got a water supply crisis, so it's gonna bottleneck the flow of water. So excellent population to test some kind of water hallucinogen substances on. This is, we're far down the line. We've already been hit with the freaking fluoride for a while, and then the metals, heavy metals. Who knows if this smart dust, man, if they can't, send frequencies into our head and, you know, all that type stuff. All that type stuff seems probable to me. But anyway, I've noticed that, like, there is kind of like man, it's just like tendency, man, for people to be very hypersensitive in communication, and then they take it the wrong way, or they'll be speaking in a way that'll be like the personal and speaking blanket gets like that knob there gets jacked up to where the point you can't tell if someone's speaking in general, or you'll take it as they're speaking personally on you, or you'll miss it when they are speaking on you. They're really speaking in general, or sometimes they're playing the double speech game where they're really speaking to you, but in a roundabout fashion. And once again, I see the spirit rise up in people just in conversation, and it just has a tendency to go all the way the wrong way. People just got to go there, and they just can't come to a resolution at all. It's like from the onset, it's like, I want a problem and I want it now. So they kind of set up these loaded, baited, situational things to where you're going to be like kind of guilty of something, or it's like if the person wants to put it under a microscope, it would seem. But if you took it back and looked at it from space with one of those satellite microscopes, you would see the big pictures that, like, no, circumstantially, that was unavoidable. But if you want to put it under that kind of a scrutiny, you can present that case. It's kind of how lawyers and corporatists work, through their legalese and their mumbo jumbo word magic, and the straight up Machiavellian doublespeak. In a way, all these things are at play. It's like either there's the communication factors jacked up from the fluoridation and the lead combination with the aluminum, Then they're spraying us with some kind of Monsanto fucking anti-mosquito shizzle. Mass vaccination, WHO, World Health Organization, UN, UNICEF type op. Like they're gonna come in and spray us with the shit to make us all weak and retarded before they send in the blue helmets to in the rape squads at the water pipes. You know what I'm saying? It's really a sickening thing that they're doing here. I mean, this is really sickening, and I'm telling you, I'll be seeing people, and like the other day, especially the women, man, they look pale, and these are dark skinned women, and they were looking like pale, like weird, and it was in the same day, and it's like everyone's been having kind of symptoms of the chemtrail flu. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone's respiratory is jacked, and a general feeling of homeostasis, which is like feeling natural, normal. It's like everything's out of whack, pH out of whack, hormones out of whack, nutrition out of whack, vitamin D sun intake out of whack. I mean, just look, Monsanto out of whack. Big Pharma out of whack. I mean, it's just, yeah, it is like the freaking carnival, like the freaking scary carnival carousel with a bunch of fucking mirrors. Those funny mirrors that just won't freaking stop. It just keeps getting weirder, in other words, and more stranger. And yeah, the onslaught, it just seems to kick up. And it's funny, it's like I'm noticing there's definitely most certainly a component to electromagnetic frequency weapons and demons. I mean, at least that's what I'm seeing now. So, chemically, big pharma, sorcery, pharmakia, Hippocratic oath, like, type stuff. I'm sure there's, mega heavy, attachments to that too. Like, what was it? I seen the death train going up to Dow Chemical, and it had these liquid container train crates, and they said they were labeled STYX. That Styx, the river Styx. It's the river in hell. I mean, just for instance, look, they hide it not. They made a covenant with death, man, and they're spraying us. And it was like Prince was saying, man, those days when it get hot out in the hood and everyone started fighting. Well, they just did that, and it was nationwide. You know what I'm saying? Because one dude's out in Vassar, another dude's in a different state down in the southwest, and my other dude closer here to where I'm at, all had the same whammy hit them at the same time, and makes me think back to this particular X-Files episode where they were freaking spraying farmers were spraying their stuff, and it was getting into the water supply, and it was a freaking pheromone, and it was basically like a breakup type pheromone, and you can see these cycles where they they literally try to destabilize people, and it's like you wondering why like women have such crazy mood swings. Well, it's because they're hitting on and off switches in your chemical makeup, and they're trying to make you infertile, which is going to have all kinds of crazy psychological effects. Like, you ever seen a woman on her period? Like, look, imagine if they just got that meter stuck on that. Boom, that's the perfect weapon. It said, hell hath no fury like that. And imagine if you could get one of them into office, then hit them with that pheromone, that kill them all and eat them all pheromone. That is quite a horrific prospect if that's a true bioweapon. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of way the shizzle can work. They got the capability, and I'm sure they've done it. I mean, this is probably like they've already, like, the prototype's already been worked out, man. This is a like trial. Like, I don't know. I'm not expert on that anyway. But anyway, they're perfecting their method, is what I'm saying here. And they're getting their data and their research. There's a movie called The Crazies. Like, I think that's what it's called, The Crazies. And this freaking plane falls down in a swamp, and it releases some kind of freaking gas that gets into the water supply, and everyone has these, like most of the population has these critical freakouts, like 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 straight up weirded out. I mean, and we see some instances of this stuff going on, but some of that, the Flocka footage, I almost wonder if it's just doctored up, if it's crisis actors, and they're trying to use it as a pretext to get stronger drug task forces, basically. I mean, in Homeland Security armies and shit like that, and just basically greasing up the skids for the martial law wild weasel event. And then there's also the electromagnetic component. It's like, are they actually changing the megahertz meter of the planet, and the planet's letting off a different kind of hum than the natural harmonious hum that it naturally gives off with this freaking CERN machine? The dude said the Earth's like a bell, man, and if you just hit it with the right frequency, it rings. And it's like, you can think of it like those two things you hold in your hand and you roll them like this, those Chinese bells. Kind of like that. The Earth is more like one of them. Anyway, so if you can disrupt the natural harmonious frequency, you can affect every living creature that's biomagnetic on the planet all at once. So there you can see your military application to the ability to be able to do that. They got this CERN machine and they got this heart machine, and they both have capabilities in that range, that frequency range, that can directly affect human beings on a massive earth-wide scale. So I mean, and then here's something else that's going on, man. The things are blowing up in the sun, and there's solar rays that are hitting us too, and maybe geomagnetic or solar radiation, mass coronal ejection type things. Maybe these things have effect on people's behavior, like the full moon will make people be quick to fight or flight. In a way, what if these rogue blast waves also hype up people's aggression? You know what I mean? And maybe that's what it is. Like in a way, there's a spidey sense that we all got, and it can get jacked up, and the wrong signal can get jammed on to where it's on and it's not supposed to be. So it's gonna cause sabotage. Everything will be like sabotaged in a way, and it's just like, and it's an unseen freaking force that you can see it. It's kind of like the wind, it's invisible, but it blows through the trees. You see the leaves moving, right? In a way, you see this destruction, chaos, kind of contentiousness, this ugly darkness that this ethereal stuff, and then it's like, maybe you can see there's a force behind it, just like the wind when you can't see it, but when you see it doing stuff, kind of like situation going on. And kind of seen that lately. And strictly with chemical alone, certain chemicals do open up direct channels to particular demons, entities, powers, principalities, because you can look into the Apollyon cult, and basically the Oracle of Delphi, all that, they used methane gas and potentially maybe other compounds to generate a hallucinogenic state, and it literally allowed them to tap into Python spirit and talk directly to Apollyon. So shit, if they're spraying us with the same chemicals like that makes the methane gas shit of the Oracle of Delphi, like for instance, say they put that shit in the water, bam, Apollyon rising everywhere, type shit. Angel in the whirlwind. I mean, dude, I've seen it. It looked like angels in the whirlwind the other day. In the sun setting in the east, and then it being blacked out in the west. Man, it was at sundown. It was freaking weird. And that's more of this, like, well, how are we getting these chemicals? Well, it's they're spraying them, and somehow they're pushing them around. It's, I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy whatever they're doing. Like they're making some kind of planetary cloaking device, maybe to stop missiles from coming in. I mean, I don't know. Trying to hide from things from outer space. I don't know what's going on, but so they're doing something big. They're making big moves up there.